Good evening, happy Sunday, and many thanks for joining tonight's broadcast. The news in detail with me, Gloria Mutesi. Rwanda's cabinet approved the appointment of Antoine Amfray as France's ambassador in Rwanda with residence in Kigali. The appointment of a new ambassador has been commended as the right step forward in France and Rwanda relations. It had now been 6 years since the country last had an ambassador in Rwanda stationary.
The 58-year-old Antoine Amfray is a veteran when it comes to diplomacy with African countries, having served his country in places like Niger and Uganda in the 1990s, and his name even comes up in the Duclair report on France's role in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, cited as having tried to warn his superiors back in Paris that terrible atrocities were being prepared in Rwanda at the time and that the country might descend into chaos. The appointment of a new ambassador has been commended as the right step forward in France-Rwanda relations.
Mais cette nouvelle relation que nous avons voulu, le président Kagame et moi, pour la France et pour le Rwanda,
but the new relations President Kagame and I have decided to support allow us to make progress. However, it must be evident in actions, such as the cultural center that will be inaugurated in the evening, and the fact that I have asked President Kagame that we appoint a French ambassador in Rwanda. That position has remained vacant for the last 6 years, and in amending our relations, that gap cannot be ignored. After we select a name, we will forward the nomination to Rwanda's authorities for approval, and the mission of that envoy will be based on what we both agreed together today.
sur la feuille de route que nous avons fixée ensemble aujourd'hui.
Rwanda's leaders had also expressed their desire to once again see a French ambassador in the country.
As you would appreciate a French ambassador going to Rwanda after years of not
Yes, we are in a process of normalization.
This is on the horizon, I mean, very soon?
I would wish that was the case. Again, that's a matter of France to decide. But I think it would be a good thing, and we could keep building the momentum of a strong relationship.
The publication of two recent reports on France's role in the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi and President Macron's visit in Rwanda towards the end of last month have all been indications of the two sides' willingness to normalize relations in recent times, and efforts to that end were intensified in 2019.
Health authorities in Rwanda say that with no immediate action from the residents, the country could find itself in the third phase of the COVID-19 pandemic that would require stringent measures, such as going back into lockdown. Just this Saturday, Rwanda registered 284 new COVID-19 infections, figures that were last seen about 5 months ago. Among these infections, 75 were from Rubavu district, something residents say stems from the consequences of the eruption of the Nyiragongo volcano in the DRC. Health Minister Dr. Daniel Ngamije also emphasizes that the claims of these residents are justified, as he further explains the cause of the increase in infections across the country.
We have in the region increase of cases in some countries and neighboring to Rwanda. Therefore, some movement of people from those countries, we noted those movements. People are coming either on road, by foot, or coming with the airlines. And we tested those people, and we found that some of them were positive, a certain high level of incidence among those groups. We have also a recent event which happened in DRC, where we have a cross-border movement of people coming and going, coming again. Among people that we are testing in Rubavu, we found that a good number of them were positive. But also, in general, people are also relaxing regarding preventive measure for COVID. We noted beginning of May that social gatherings that are not allowed, especially in families. There are a lot of parties in families, and you can imagine those kind of parties, there is no social distancing, there is no wearing of mask. People are just, if one is infected, the transmission to everybody who is there is likely to be happening. So in schools also, in some schools, we noted that some kids were infected in some companies. In general, you can see that people tried to relax for no reason, because the disease is still there.
This is among the reasons a cabinet meeting was held on Saturday where it was resolved to suspend parties and events, with events such as traditional weddings only hosting 30% of the capacity venue, with a negative COVID-19 test required 3 days prior to the event. The Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Beata Uwamariza Habyarimana, says the measures put in place are aimed at preventing the spread of the pandemic while reviving the economy as well, which is why all Rwandans, and especially traders and business people, should make it their own initiative to avoid complacency.
I think that we need from the business owners to see their participation in this battle. It is not just the duties of the security organs or the Ministry of Health or local administration organs, but really everyone has his part in this in fighting this pandemic. And we think that in one side it goes to the business owners, to the employers, to make sure that their employees in their businesses are really applying the measures. But in the same time, we also invite them to have more regular testing with the employees so that they can make sure that even though those who are waiters or who are just serving, they are safe. This also increases the reputation of the place. But we also think that in these common places like markets, shops, starting from really the Mudugudu stage to the high-level restaurants or hotels, they have to put in place those measures of washing hands, applying the social distancing, and even having youth volunteers to assist them so that if they keep those measures, complying with them, it will sustain the recovery of the economy. But if they fail to do so, they're like pushing us to have more strict measures, what you don't want to have currently. We really believe, and we're like betting on them to own these measures and to put them in place so that we both together work together to have that economy recovering.
The Minister for Local Government, Gatabazi Jean-Marie Vianney, also warns those that are still going against COVID-19 preventive measures, especially for the activities that are still not allowed to operate.
Local authorities are working together with security organs, and we are going to put in more effort to do a follow-up in every cell settlement where bars are opening within people's homes. We have arrested some, but not all of them. We are working with the police as well to see that this can be addressed too, together with local authorities, youth volunteers who will update us where these illegal activities are.
Currently, almost 400,000 people have been vaccinated against COVID-19, a small percentage compared to Rwanda's goal. This is while there's been a surge in infections across some countries on the continent, what scientists are calling a third wave. Dr. Daniel Ngamije says Rwanda could still avoid the third wave, but only if stringent measures are taken and adhered to.
There is a trend that there is a tendency of increasing disease incidence in the region, even in other parts of the world. But all depend the way we will comply with the measures, because we are taking this strong decision, hard decision, where we have only an incidence of almost 15 for 100,000 people, which is still, let's say, at the level where we can really contain the disease. Remember that last year in August we reached up to 75 for 100,000 people. And in August, but we could manage to reverse the situation and bring down the incidence. So it's feasible. We need to comply, and if everybody decide to really be an actor for this disease rather than being in passive mode.
For life to return to normalcy, 60% of the population needs to be vaccinated to reduce the infection rate and mortality. Now on Saturday, June the 12th, at approximately 14:45 hours, an RDF day patrol intercepted a UPDF soldier identified as Bakuru Muhuba, who had crossed into Rwandan territory in the northern province, Burera district, in Majambere village. According to the statement, the intercepted soldier was dressed in a UPDF camouflage uniform, armed with a medium machine gun with its 100 rounds, one binocular, one cell phone, and his military identification documents. Rwanda Defense Force this evening repatriated the UPDF soldier identified, who was intercepted on Rwandan soil.
I came to my deployment So I want to withdraw my soldier. So when I cross in the border, I got the soldier of Rwanda. They say that you are where are you going? I am saying, okay, me, I want to withdraw my soldier to go back to the barracks. So the soldier, they say that you have crossed the border. So Uganda is there, already you have crossed the border. So me, I told my Nani, the soldier of Rwanda, I said that, okay, sorry, let me go back to Uganda. But it's not far from Uganda to Rwanda. The soldier of Rwanda said that, no, you first wait. Then after that, they they put me in chini ya ulinzi. So when they take me the chini ya ulinzi, they called, I think, the superior of his superior. His superior, they said that, you you say that okay, I'm going to get you there. Though the spirit of Rwanda, they come, then they took me in the Rwanda.
I think as you are aware that our boundaries has no marks, maybe he was thinking that he was still in Uganda, but unfortunately he found himself in Rwanda. But now we are very grateful. Yesterday we came here, we tried to talk to you, and we appreciate that you received us well yesterday, and even this evening you have also received us very well. Let's remain with this cooperation because we are neighbors. There is no way how we can avoid each other, because at one time you also find you as coming also, and is also inside also by mistake. But now we are grateful. I have come with my officers here. I have come with the CEO who has signed. I have come with my DPC. But these others, there is a chairman. There is a chairman of this area who normally interacts with you in some of the local administration. So there's no another thing. We are welcoming Baruku to come back. Next time, be a soldier, you should not make another mistake. Yes, eh? Yes, maybe sometimes you move once you are moving, you move with the GPS so that you know where you are.
Also in the news today, the Minister of Local Government has officially inaugurated 3 settlements in Masaka sector of Chichichiro district. 2 of them that include 195 houses for the most vulnerable in society. The settlements with the infrastructure in them cost 1.2 billion Rwanda francs to complete.
2-in-1 residential homes were constructed in the settlements of Gichacha and Chianghonji, while another 8-in-1 home was constructed in Ayabaraya Cell, now home to 16 families.
We've accepted these houses with much love and thank the President for us. I'm happy beyond belief, so tell the President that we wish many blessings upon him and his family. I had spent many years living in other people's houses, getting insulted and thrown out a lot, spending the nights outside. I'm not exaggerating. I actually gained weight after arriving here. I'm able to sleep soundly at night and not worrying that I will be evicted.
It was very difficult, constantly renting. I was being thrown out every time I did not have money to pay. I am grateful to the government for thinking of giving us a place to stay with electricity and clean water. Local authorities say they are now working to ensure that the residents have everything they need.
We're now going to ensure that they become self-reliant, so that working with them, we enable them to move beyond being called vulnerable. Even senior officials have started calling them partners and not just beneficiaries in this endeavor. So we will continue sensitizing and providing them with material support so that all those that have been resettled here can make progress.
Government officials have indeed been calling on the residents to make good on the opportunities they have been given.
icyakabiri kijyanye nabyo nuko aya mazu twabubakiye no mu gihugu muri rusange twifuza ko imidugudu.
Secondly, we do not wish these sort of houses and others in settlements across the country to become like dumping sites where we just drop off people. These individuals matter to us and should be able to access all the services they need. They must be helped to develop using projects that do not require much land to implement. Things like rearing chickens, setting up carpentry centers where their children can make things to sell in markets, and they should be taught to grow their own vegetables in kitchen gardens.
The
settlements with the infrastructure in them cost 1.2 billion Rwandan francs to complete.
More than 9,000 bodies of the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi were recovered from fields and pits below buildings in an area known as Mugahoromani in Masaka sector of Chichichiro district and Rusororo in Gasabo district. It is while more than 84,000 bodies were retrieved from those parts of Gahoromani in 2018 and 2019. Jane Mutoni with the details.
In an area known as Gahoromani that crosses both into Masaka sector of Kichukiro district and Rusororo sector of Gasabo district, it has been reported that a large number of Tutsis were killed there during the 1994 genocide due to the rising number of the bodies of the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi that are being recovered from there. The chairperson of Ibuka in Masaka sector, an organization of genocide survivors helping to honor the memory of those who were killed during the 1994 genocide, Innocent Gasinzigwa, says the bodies of more than 9,000 people were recovered from about 4 locations in Gahoromani, located in Masaka sector.
This hole goes way deeper. Many bodies were recovered from it, even all around here. Many people were killed in this area, which is now a farm, because at that time, after killing them, they would plant bananas on top of their bodies. Many bodies were recovered from this farm. Some houses which had been constructed on top of their bodies were demolished.
He further added that they have been information of other bodies under some homes, but those living in those homes will first have to be relocated before they start digging or retrieving the bodies.
Currently, we are facing a challenge of relocating an old lady by the name of Angelina, whose house was built on top of the bodies of the victims, as reports indicate. Her house had been valued so that we can demolish it after recovering bodies around it, but she refused to leave the house. I informed local authorities about the issue, and they said that they are still looking for a house for her because she is old, so she can't be forced out of her home. For now, it is as if this location has been exempted.
Since 2018, bodies of the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi have been retrieved from Gahoromani, as more than 84,000 bodies are now buried in honor at the Nyanza Memorial in Kichukiro district. Many have confirmed that these holes were dug before the genocide and Tutsi would be killed and thrown inside from time to time, resulting in a very large number ending up inside. And when the genocide against the Tutsi began, even more victims were thrown into them. Many victims have not been identified, having been brought there to be killed far from their home areas. Jane Mutoni, RwandaTV News.
That's all we had for you tonight. Thank you for your company. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead free from COVID-19. Please wear your face masks diligently at all times. Otherwise, God bless you and keep you. And until next time, I'm Gloria Mutisi. Bye for now.